Hi, I'm Scott Ott, and this is Bill Whittle Now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that the questions that we ask on Bill Whittle Now of Bill Whittle, he has not heard before. He does not know what's coming at him right now. And Bill, you're going to love this one because I read just within the last 24 hours or so that Bill Kristol, the editor of the Weekly Standard, is actually putting together a war machine to primary President Trump in the 2020 elections. And the thinking that goes behind this for Mr. Kristol is that nobody is going to jump into the race to primary challenge a sitting president unless he knows there'll be substantial support there for him. So Kristol wants to build the war machine, and he is convinced that this is actually going to be an easier task than some might otherwise assume. In his short list, he includes, by the way, and the only name mentioned as being in his short list is Ohio Governor John Kasich, who also ran unsuccessfully in 2016. And other names being mentioned include a guy for whom I had some respect, Ben Sasse, the senator, and as well as Senator Jeff Flake. So, Bill, the question is, what would it take for an attack from the right, so to speak, to dump Trump?
Well, first of all, how do you fit all of that charisma into one little canoe? Kasich and what's his name? And
Flake
then,
and Ben Sasse.
And the other guy too.
And let me just leap to the defense. Flake and Sasse have not commented on this. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
The people being mentioned. So it's really Kristol.
I'll just stay with that then. So here's the thing. This is another manifestation of stuff that we're seeing kind of on a daily basis in Congress. Donald Trump represents something that is such a threat to the power structure in Washington that the Republicans are, at least the Republicans inside that power structure, are as worried about him as the Democrats are. Because Donald Trump is not from inside the Beltway, and the people that support Donald Trump are most certainly not inside the Beltway kind of people. And so you could look at this, Scotty, as the way I usually look at elections, which is inside Washington, D.C. versus America. And this is the inside D.C. faction trying to run a candidate against the knuckle-dragging, low-sloping forehead, farmers and yahoos and hayseeds out in flyover country.
Hey, now, I think you're talking about me.
I am too. I'm just slightly east of the airport.
Well, let me just ask you this: on a broader principled matter, why not? In general, why shouldn't Republicans challenge a sitting president? Isn't that good for the president himself as he goes into the general election to have faced a legitimate challenge and to have shown his strength and his ability to overcome it and, frankly, to settle the intra-party debate? Well,
if this is something that's going to benefit Donald Trump in the long run, I'm pretty sure William Kristol's not behind it.
So I don't think that's what he had in mind.
No, no, I don't think a Republican challenge helps the president. I think all it does is gives ammunition to the left in the general election to say that your own guy said this and this and this and this, and just give them ammunition to use against us. But that's not really the issue. The issue is, should somebody else be running against Donald Trump? And I think the answer could conceivably be yes, although I don't know if it's Donald Trump. But without question, Scott, after Donald Trump's term or second term is over, there is certainly room for a conservative party to replace the Republican Party. And if you were able to mix the aspects of the outside of the Beltway Tea Party kind of decentralized, let's build it down. We're not destroy it, but let's just build it down. If you were to combine that kind of small government essence of the Tea Party and combine it with the overall sense of libertarianism that most people, especially young Americans, feel today, I think you could come up with a platform that you'd get 70–80% of the vote on. You pretty much stay out of people's business. I know some people are bothered by that, but to me, that's what being a conservative is. You do what you want, I do what I want, as long as you don't affect me and I don't harm you, that kind of thing, we're good. So somebody was running on a platform of real conservatism and combine it with the fact that we're going to be fiscally conservative, we're going to be militarily conservative, we're going to defend this country, but we're going to stay out of people's lives and make that consistent. I think that party could kick some butt.
I've seen two stories in the last week of alleged major Republican donors who have said that they are leaving the Republican Party and that they are. One guy actually just saw Barack Obama speak somewhere and was very impressed, and basically it is a rebellion against Trump. And I think the establishment is standing up right now, Bill, and saying, "Hey, wait a minute, the Republican Party used to be a big tent. Why are we being kicked out of it?" Isn't that a fair question to ask?
Well, the R.I.N.Os are setting up just by the act of doing this, Scott, by their behaviors prior to Trump's election, since his election, and using this as an example. The R.I.N.Os are kind of showing their true colors, and if somebody's getting kicked out of the Republican Party, they're kicking themselves out. Now, I have on very reliable authority. Let me just stress that this is hearsay. And
it's very reliable hearsay, though.
And I'm not a reporter, but I was talking to the person who was there, and I know this person to be a person of integrity. Was talking with the Jeb Bush campaign prior to Trump winning the nomination in 2016. And when this person challenged the representative from the Jeb Bush campaign on a certain issue or two and got the response that he got, he said, "I get the impression you would rather see Hillary Clinton be president than Donald Trump." And this high-level representative of the Bush campaign said, "Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Hillary's terrific. She knows where all the buttons are, and she'd be a great president." And you're left with this realization that it really is them versus us in that sense, that Trump is as much a threat to inside the Beltway Republicans as he is to inside the Beltway Democrats, which is why they all hate him so much, why the whole city hates him so much. And furthermore, it also goes to this idea that that it's in the best interests of the established Republicans and the established Democrats to make sure that no genuine popular movement happens in America, because then the whole, Ponzi scheme could come down.
Well, I guess the good news for Bill Kristol is that once it becomes known and noised about that he's building this war machine against Donald Trump, then President Trump will inevitably tweet against him, at which point people will discover that there's a magazine called The Weekly Standard and that Bill Kristol is editor or used to be editor of it.
This is also, just very quickly, this is also, I suspect, if I had to guess, a pretty good example of echo chamber thinking, because the way you introduced this question, it just sounded ridiculous. Sounds ridiculous to me. It obviously didn't sound ridiculous to him. So it makes you wonder, what kind of things does he hear about, and what kind of conversations does he have on a daily basis that would make him think this is a good idea?
Ladies and gentlemen, these are Bill Whittle's hot takes on daily news, commentary that we're offering at BillWhittle.com on YouTube and on Facebook. If you'd like to see more of this kind of thing, you can become a citizen producer over at BillWhittle.com. Become a member. I think it's $9.95 a month these days. Feel free to hit that notification bell on the YouTube page so that you make sure you know when these videos go live. So
consider it the Liberty Bell.
And it is the Liberty Bell of notification.
That's right, man.
I like that. Nice crack. I'm Scott Ott with Bill Whittle. Thanks for watching. Thanks to the members at BillWhittle.com for making it possible.